Hi, Chris.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm trying to get my, forget it, it's not important. I was trying to get my stand out for the phone so I don't have to hold it, but that's all right. Other than
Oh,
that,
okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's fine. So, how have you been?
I've been all right. I've been pretty busy today, mostly with school and what else did I do? I did something else. I can't remember what it is, but it'll come to me. Oh, I went up to the
Okay.
center. Yeah, I went up to the center to uh, hang out for a minute, get my some more of my schoolwork done, and to eat.
Okay. That's great. So,
Yeah.
let's start with well, today is actually going to be uh on the topic of how music can help young adults with mental health issues. So
Yeah.
I understand you've been doing a little bit of work on that area.
Oh yes, absolutely. My last two research papers were on that music and the benefits it has on the brain. Actually, certain areas related to impulse control and emotion regulation, working memory, planning, and things like that. Last paper was more specific towards drummers actually, and what they have to do to process. You know, you got a kid in there who's got ADHD or maybe anxiety. You know how that the music helps them to focus, to plan, to pause, because we're impulsive. ADHD, the impulsivity is huge, and so it just puts things in a different perspective, and they have fun doing it.
Mhm.
You know, kids have fun doing it, people have fun doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But before we go deep into that, I just wanted to get the introductions out of the way first. Do you wanna tell us like who you are, what you do, and which publication you have in Substack, and what you aim to do with the publication as well, all of those things. So just introduce yourself, let us get to know you a little bit more.
I'm Christopher, and I do have a publication on Substack.
Yes.
Originally with uh, the Humble Elephant,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to change that because it was nagging me. The music thing was nagging me, and
Yeah.
Humble Elephant didn't include music. So I just kind of thought I should. It was like a hint to stay true to
Yeah.
myself. So then I switched it to the 1 minute daily boost. So that's
Okay.
what's coming. That's what's coming. And so I've been working on that too. Oh, that I did that a little bit today too. But I have to be focused on my schoolwork too because midterms are coming and I have final for a class that it was a short class and early. You know, they cram everything all in one little short period of time. So I have to make sure I
Yeah.
don't get behind. So
Okay.
yeah. Hey, did I
Okay.
answer all your questions? Did I
Yeah.
get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. Thanks so much for that. So, with the studies that you've done, um do you know what kind of age group you're looking at?
Mhm.
What what age group, what young adults are we specifically talking about, and um what um do they identify as, like, do you mind telling us more about that?
Sure. Sure. The age bracket's going to be between the ages of 13 and 18. Um,
Okay.
there's a lot going on in the brain. It's different, in the earlier years.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think the young adults they kind of fall through the cracks as they get older. Once they reach those teens and keep, getting older, they kind of get overlooked a little bit, and then they're just thrown into adulthood, and say, well, start adulting now, and they don't really know how, so they got a lot of things they deal with. So that's why I chose that age group, you know.
Okay. And what particular, like you mentioned that you're studying those young adults that have um mental health issues, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you think um do they often listen to music? What type of music they listen to? Do you know?
Well, I do know. Actually, that's a really good question, and it's a very important question
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
to meet them on where they are. And so
Yeah.
I looked it up. I looked it up, and about a couple months ago or so, and it turns out pop is pretty big. They like pop music,
Pop,
rap music, R&B,
music.
and EDM. EDM was up there.
Mhm.
Uh, Rock music
Okay.
was there, but pop and EDM and rap. The R&B, rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
Those are your top three that they listen to.
Okay.
So
EDM meaning electronic
electro,
dance music.
yeah, that's pretty general, big. There's so many. When I actually wrote down a crap ton of the genres because there were so many that
Yeah.
had populated in a very short period of time. So I wrote them down, and it's like, I think there's like country rap or something. I mean, it's really crazy stuff, and it's listed,
Yeah.
it's there. So yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
those are the top three. They're listening to pop and R&B, the hip hop and stuff like that, and yeah,
Okay. All right. And with the studies that you've done, so how do they say this type of music help them in like symptoms, lessening the symptoms of mental health issues?
Um, the biggest areas which uh, that have been shown to the research that has been done to be helpful has been in areas of like social interaction. If the music, playing music as not
Yeah,
listening, there's a difference. Playing music has been shown
plays.
um, to improve like memory, impulse control. Uh, uh, oh gosh, attention.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. Planning, organizing, and then in turn, what has happened as a result of that is children have the kids have, or excuse me, kids. Sorry, guys. The young adults, they've done better socially, or they have done their academic status has improved.
Yeah,
They've reported in these studies that are in the research that I've read that they do feel better. They do feel calmer. People with anxiety and depression, music has been known, and listening has been known to reduce, some of the symptoms that people with anxiety go through or live with, and experience. And same with depression.
yeah,
They're not all music. Now, if you're depressed, chances are you don't want to listen to the saddest song on earth. Don't do that.
yeah.
That's not beneficial. It's probably not going to be. So you gotta have an idea. Like if I'm feeling melancholy, then maybe something uplifting. And
Listen
so
to something
yeah,
uplifting. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay. So with these young adults that you've studied, like how is their relationship to music though? Like are they passionate, like casual listeners or just
Yes,
Yeah.
they are actually very passionate. Music is
Mhm.
part of like identity to them and to everybody. And quite honestly, there was a study done, a couple guys, well, initially it's one gentleman, and then he, you know, buddy of his jumped on some time ago, that
Yeah.
music has been actually deemed as a universal language. They did the study, he did the work, they did
Yes.
all the work, and it's been now, confirmed that yes, it's literally a universal language. And
Yeah.
that's music is the thing where cultures from culture to culture, different cultures, different groups, communities, whatever. You can speak a different language, look at different color, and yet you're going to still bebop to the same sound, and you're going to
Yeah.
understand it, and you feel it together.
Yes.
You don't have to
Exactly.
you don't have to understand their language, or know how to speak it. And it's the same with the kids. That's where they help. They identify, they socialize, they get along, they connect, they bond, and that's what music
Yeah.
does. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it is a beautiful thing because you mentioned that it's like a universal language.
Mhm.
When you say that, like, how do you think they process or express their emotions with music?
How do can you guys say that? I'm not sure.
Like,
I think.
how do you think they express or process their emotions with music?
How do they do that? Well, there's different ways. One is, I think, preference of instrument. If you're playing an instrument, that's done by preference. Like,
Mm,
maybe Joe Bob thinks he, is feeling a connection with, that saxophone or that guitar, and
yeah,
Susie is feeling a connection with the drums or bass. Yeah, so that
yeah,
part's a preference, I think. And then I think some of it too is automatic. Once you start to learn how to play and you start, getting it down a little bit, and it's like it's like you grew together, you and
yeah,
music, like you jive together. You don't have to explain it or try to describe it. You just go with it, and then you allow it to be. And that's how you express, because that's what we want. I mean, when we're about ready to be thrown into adulthood legally by the law, you know,
mm,
um, you want to there's a lot going on. You want to feel something. You want to be part of something. You want to belong somewhere, have purpose, and your identity and things. Music does that for you. It gives you that belonging, that sense of purpose. That you've done something. This is big. This is huge. It's not just an outward thing. It's an internal thing too. And you can, like I said, you don't have to know the language. I don't need to know French to know that we like, you
yeah,
know, Black Sabbath or whoever, or Barbra Streisand, whoever. It doesn't matter, because the
yeah,
music sells it, and the expression, just like I said, it comes automatically. I think, and it doesn't matter if you're
yeah,
listening to it or playing it. Listening. I think listening to music is used quite a bit in music therapy. Um,
yeah,
More so than probably playing. That don't quote me on that. I'm
mm,
not a music therapist at all, and
yeah,
so by any means. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I hope I did.
yeah, you
Um,
did. Thank you for
it's
that. Yeah, but
there's also
yeah,
there's
so
also
they can
songwriting too. That's where writing has a purpose, right? It does a big benefit. Just writing, like I love you or I hate
exactly.
you. But you writing songs, that does a lot too. And singing actually
Yeah,
has been shown
singing.
to show
Yeah,
some really big impact benefits. So anyway, I want to throw those out there. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. I was just gonna mention that singing and then playing music, listening to music, writing songs. That's all therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, sure, it is absolutely. It makes you feel good, or it makes you, it gives you an opportunity, like, to get out what you need to get out, no matter what. And
Yeah,
the thing about music is, you can say shit in that song, and it's okay, or the
yeah,
F word in that song, or damn, but to do that in
yeah,
writing, or to do it on well, I don't know. Nowadays, you can do it on TV if you get it right, time of night, I guess. I don't know, but it's so much more acceptable, with music. So a lot more freedom
Yeah.
to sing. Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It's great because it lets you express your emotions, and like it helps you through like a difficult or emotional time, doesn't it? Especially when you're going through an emotional time.
sure. It's also well, see, for me, music was such a huge thing. I was adopted at an older age, 7. Some
Mm,
kids don't get
mm,
adopted and they have to wait the system out, and that's terrible for them.
yeah,
My heart goes out to them for that. But, I got adopted at 7, and it was at that age that I tinkered on the piano and I played it for a year. And then, of course, I'm a kid and piano's not cool and my fingers are too short, so I played the violin.
mhm.
That's where I got my feet wet. And then I played saxophone for
Oh,
many years. So music really helped
oh
me.
wow.
Back in the 70s, there was being diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome, there wasn't very much information on how to deal with that. And
Yeah.
so my parents really, did the best they could with a problem child, not that I was purposely a problem child. I just had a lot of issues before I was, it's just the way it was. Music really did help, and it was the one thing
Yeah.
that I could actually sit down and do for hours.
Mm,
And,
mm,
that's hard for people who have a hyperactivity bone in them, not, ADHD specifically, but mostly. I mean, I was diagnosed with ADD when I was a kid.
yeah.
I was incredibly hyper. I mean, I was bouncing all over the place. Oh, my mom couldn't stand it. And music helped me to, it helped me to calm down because I
Calm
enjoyed it. It
down,
made me feel
relax.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was motivated to work through the hard parts. Like, there's times like my ADD kicks in. It's like I'll look at something, it's like, "Ooh, I'm just overwhelmed by all that, can't deal with it," and I don't. There are
Yeah.
times I just don't. But with music, I was always willing. Till my lips bled, I would play for
Oh,
hours.
wow.
You know, that's what I want for young adults, or
Yeah, yeah,
anybody for that matter, anybody actually for that matter. But, I have a thing for the guys who are getting ready to be thrown into the big bad world, and there's a lot of things that go on inside that brain. And then you attach a mental health issue to
yeah,
that and it's magnified, and, so yeah, hell yeah, they're are up and down all around and, they got a lot on their mind.
yeah.
They got a lot
That's
on their mind.
true. That's
Also,
true. So do you have an idea of what particular music they like singers or artists that they particularly like?
no, I don't.
Okay.
Jelly Roll, is Jelly Roll still big, or did he come and go like in the blink of an eye? I was listening to a song by Jelly Roll the other day. I thought it was pretty cool. But no, there are some titles and artists out there that I've heard. I'm like, whoa, who is that? They're like, but you don't know
Mm,
who that is? And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah,
mm,
I'm embarrassed. So I'll get caught up on the ins and outs and the
yeah.
who's who.
Who's
Uh, you
who?
know, yeah, so Billie Eilish, I heard that name today. I didn't even know that I'm sorry, I didn't even know that Billie Eilish was a girl. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Sorry, Billie, my bad. If this if this goes viral, yeah, I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think that will come in time because artists come a lot. There's different artists all popping up left and right, and if we have The Voice still and we got American Idol still, they're
yeah.
pumping out artists left and right too. So it's hard, it's a lot to keep up with nowadays.
Yeah, it is. There is a lot of artists out there. But do you think that like different types of music have different effects on their mood or something, like upbeat music makes you feel energized, slower music makes you feel calm, like what you mentioned earlier
Yeah.
when you were younger?
Mhm. Absolutely. Oh, definitely. That does make a difference for anybody, whether no affliction or no affliction, it doesn't matter. Because we're human beings with emotions, and music, evokes emotions. So
Yes.
it does matter, I believe, what style of music you're listening to. If you're angry and pissed off, chances are you don't want to listen to, um, War Pigs
Rock
by Black
music
Sabbath.
or something.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Let's save that for tomorrow or later when you're calm.
Yeah.
Maybe. And classical music actually is very important. It has a lot of it's just written, composed in a way that the brain and the body really react and
Yeah.
respond immediately to it. I'm
Yes.
trying to be informative, but not so much like off on a tangent with that. But there's a lot to be said about classical music, and it's a very healthy genre to listen to,
Yeah.
helpful, in a lot of different ways for calming, and for being uplifted. There's a lot of uplifting
Yes.
classical music out there, So, yeah, you're right. It does matter which music you're listening to,
With
And
music.
I'll be honest, I didn't like to read it, but it's true, and do not so if you're in like say you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend, do not go and listen to the saddest song on earth, because then now you're gonna be ruminating. Okay, you're ruminating now, so the music is not helping you. You know, it's making it worse. So there
Yeah.
has to be, you have to know the line, draw the line. So yeah.
But that's an interesting point. But when you think about it, do you think music is a form of escapism? Escapism?
Yes, absolutely, it can be, but
Yeah.
so can chocolate and sex.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. It's all
Yeah.
about moderation. It's about moderation to some degree. If you are down in the dumps, or you've got something really on your mind, just be aware. And if you think, oh gosh, this music is kind of making me feel worse, well, turn it off.
Yeah.
Because that too affects the brain physically, biologically, physiologically. It does affect the brain. Hey, we don't want
Yeah.
that. So, it was sometimes, if it comes down to it, don't listen to any music at all. Sit quietly. Just sit quietly
Mm,
for just a minute, just 1 minute, or 30
yeah.
seconds even. So, I've done that. I have had to turn music off. I admit it. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you think also that music can help with other like mental health practices like meditation
Oh, sure,
and
absolutely.
relaxation?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. There's meditated, don't know if you call it music, like how we think when we hear the word music, we think a certain, you know, style or rhythm or what have you.
Yeah.
But there is music that they use for it's on YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos, meditation. They have, calming, some of it birds and chirping, waterfalls, raindrops, things like that.
Yeah, nature music. Yeah.
So that's big, and it's very well regarded to have positive effects for meditation sessions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's a rhythm and a beat and for everything, everything.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
yeah.
And do you think so I guess what you're saying is music therapy could be beneficial for young adults struggling with mental health, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. I believe
Yeah.
those people in that profession they have to learn a lot. They have to know a lot.
Mhm.
And then actually, quite honestly, they have to do a lot of schooling. You take time to go read what it takes to become a music therapist. You're not just learning
Yeah.
about psychology. Now you have to know about music.
Yeah.
And what does timbre mean? What does pitch mean? What does tone mean? Rhythm, if because you have to
Mhm.
know what to basically prescribe your client without, making things
Yeah.
worse. So you have to know a whole lot more than maybe, psychologists who study maybe child psychology or clinical psychology. They gotta
Yeah.
know a lot. So I have respect for those guys. Yeah, I really do. Um,
Yeah. 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 And you are currently studying psychology, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
major. I'm a psych major.
y-
Mhm.
Yeah. And do you think that music therapy has negative or music, not necessarily music therapy, but music, do you think that also has negative effects on mental health?
I think
And
it's
on the other side of the spectrum, you know what I'm saying? We talk about the positive effects of music, but do you think it has negative effects as well?
it can. I think that kind of also goes back to what we mentioned before, like moderation,
Yeah,
and then and knowing yourself, and being honest and truthful. Now, if you keep playing something you know is making you feel bad, well, then now you just said I want to feel bad. Okay,
yeah,
so that's where that's at. That's not about the music anymore. That's about you and your mindset at that time. So, and I don't
mhm,
mean specific when I say you. I just mean general. I'm not pointing any fingers in any way or judging. So I just want that to be known. But yeah, I
mm,
think it can be negative. Like, and I've mentioned before, if I'm listening, if I broke up with my girlfriend, of 10 years and I'm
yeah,
going driving down the street and I hear our favorite song or I put it in on purpose, and I just play it over and over and I'm ruminating. So now I'm making myself
yeah,
feel worse.
ruminate.
So
Yeah,
that's not healthy either. And
yeah,
that's no different than the person who maybe doesn't use music, but then will go to the buffet like every night
yeah,
because all you can eat, and then buy a gallon of vanilla on the way home, from the corner market. It's
yeah,
just it's knowing yourself, being honest with yourself, and doing your best to take care of yourself in even hard times. And I understand, I've had some hard times where I just couldn't get out of bed. Maybe that was the best way I could
yeah,
take care of myself at that moment. So there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, don't
mhm.
try not to do it on purpose if you can help it. I understand you're feeling so emotional, and I love her so much. I just can't
Yeah,
help it. And you play that music, you why is it I love her, and then you hate her in the next moment.
yeah.
It's like I think, don't do that. If you can help it, man, just don't do it. All right, don't let yourself go there. Try, try,
You
try
don't
not
want
to.
to wallow. Is that what you're saying? You don't want to wallow on those
Yeah,
feelings, and
try
yeah,
not
because it
to.
makes you feel worse.
Yeah, well, you already know
Yeah,
you're gonna do it because we're human. So we're gonna already do it.
yeah,
We already, every time we, pass them, oh, I see her face everywhere I go, and she's in the clouds. I mean, we're already doing it. So, you know, don't play "Endless Love" by Diana and
yeah,
Lionel. Don't do that. It's gonna be so much harder for you to get up and out of that hole you dig in. So try not to. I'm just
yeah,
one brother to the next. Okay, I'm just trying to help you all out. Don't do it. Try not
yeah.
to.
Well,
But go
what
ahead. Sorry.
about what about music? Does it help you feel less alone? Does
Absolutely.
music
That's
help? Yeah.
well, yeah, absolutely. That's part of the bond. That if you're going to a concert. I don't have to know that guy across the way, his name.
Yes.
I don't need to know what school he is, but we're rocking out, we're rocking it, and
Yeah.
the language, we're bonding there, and we have a connection. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
Awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome, you know.
And I guess when you listen to someone's words, like someone's composition of a music that you listen to, I guess it helps you feel less alone because you know that someone's gone through it the same way you did or something like that. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I
sure.
mean?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
that's another thing too with music. I kind of I wanted to kind of hang out with the young adults for a while and try to help them with some stuff, and that's part of it.
Mm.
So they can identify with something that's they can relate to, that they heard like some words, from somebody
Yeah.
that they look up to, and then maybe they can connect with other people who are like-minded, have some similar challenges, maybe or just like
Challenges.
they
Yeah.
have challenges. We're doing this together now,
Yeah.
because they're going to be adulting a whole lot longer than they were, being kids.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard. So I mean, if they can go in, it's kind of like the buddy system in a way, way back when in the military they had the buddy system. You can go in with your buddy,
Yeah. Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
did, they did. So maybe it's kind of like that, I don't know what's gonna. I haven't planned that part out. I'm just kind of talking it out. Maybe, that would be great. That's why I wanted to, I wanted to kind of direct my attention towards them because they're important too, just like the 9-year-old, just like the 25-year-old, the 32-year-old, those 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 are hard years,
Mm,
hard. So
mm.
yeah,
Is
I
it
you know
because they're going through puberty and all that?
I Well, believe it or
Yeah.
not, actually, puberty can start at age 7. I don't know if you know that. I learned that. I had
Oh,
child psychology last semester.
yeah.
Child psychology, a child and adolescent psychology, and they could start puberty. Is their hormone is actually starting to do its thing in the body physically before it
Mm,
actually says, "Here I am." It's starting to
yeah.
develop and do its thing about 8, 9 years old, something like that. I could be wrong about that age. So there's a psychologist out there. I'm sorry, but it's around right there. I was like really floored. I was like, oh my gosh, hormones were already
Yeah.
going before they actually showed up. They
Mm,
did just like,
yeah.
they showed up all of a sudden. That's kind of how they look because then we're pissed off or we're attitudinal or we're
Yeah.
rebellious or whatever, oppositional, and it was like all of a sudden you just didn't want to do nothing. Well, like in building, but I've come to find out those hormones have been kind of making their way to the surface for the past 3, 4, 5 years. I guess depends on body, but everybody's body is different. But I was like, wow, didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
So
why.
13 to 18, I think that's when, you have more peer pressure and a lot of like other like different challenges that we have in society and all that, that I guess that's why it's more important to focus on that age group, isn't it?
I think so. I think you have a point. Yes, that's one reason. The 12-year-olds, I think they're still considered aged,
Yeah.
uh, middle age bracket, age wise. But I kind of, like I said, I just have a soft spot for the kids who are coming from junior high and going to high school. Do you know that transition? I was talking about this
Yeah.
with somebody not too long
Transition.
ago. But the transition from junior high to high school is just dramatic. It's like
Mhm.
black and white, night and day. It's
Mm.
dramatic. You're so used to it being this way and that way and doing like this, and then you go to high school, and then now
Yeah.
you're the schmuck all over again. You were eighth grade. You
There's
were
a lot of
king in the eighth
changes.
grade. Yeah, but then you got to start all over, and it's done differently. And
Yeah.
that's the same. It's not any different going from high school to college either. That's so dramatic of a change. So, but I want to, these kids, they need attention. They need help. In some
Yeah.
ways, not all of them. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a psychologist or I'm not licensed in any way. I just know what I read. I know what I see. I know what I hear. Here in the United States,
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of the country, but here in the United States, we've got an issue with people going to school and shooting everybody up, and they're teenagers.
Yeah.
When we just had a
Mm.
stabbing a few days ago,
Yeah.
and they were 15 years old. These kids need help. And then you can't help all of
Yeah.
them. I'm not saying I'm going to help them all. Because not all of them want help. That's just nobody. That's wasting time for everybody. And not that they're not important. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you got to know that I can't go into this thinking, oh, I'm going to save the world. No, because that doesn't work. I want to
Mm.
help as many kids as I can by
Yeah.
sharing my experience, sharing what I learned at school. That's why I continue to go to school, not because I want to, but also because I know this is going to be helpful, And
Yeah.
so, yeah. Anyway, so I
So
didn't mean to get too long, but
so
sorry.
what oh, sorry for cutting off that. But you mentioned a lot about trying to help people. So what advice would you give other young adults who want to use music to improve their mental well-being? So like what difference is it with music other than, like, say, for example, art or sports or something like that? Why music? You know?
Why music?
Why turn to
Well,
music? Yes.
for starters, I believe music is the only craft that uses the whole brain at the same time. Art, you're using
Okay.
one side of the brain. If you're playing soccer, you're using one side of the brain predominantly. But and it's now this has been proven and researched and proven through fMRIs, the FNERS or whatever I can't remember what that stands for. I think it's for the kids younger because they move around a lot. So they have specific machines that do the scanning. And what happens
Mm.
is when they play music, the whole brain lights up. And there's a TED talk on this. And
Oh,
if you want to check me out on it and see if I'm right, you can go to the TED talk and put in a key. I can't remember the name of it.
yeah,
It's in my schoolwork, but I just watched it not too long ago. And it was amazing, that they talked about how the brain just lights up all over the
like
place.
some,
Now, listening to music, it
yeah,
lights up some, got a little bit of fireworks, but when you playing it, an instrument of some sort, they said it's just like fireworks everywhere. The whole brain's just lit up.
fireworks.
So,
Wow.
it's like exercising, when you go to
Yeah,
the gym, you one day you're doing your upper and the next day you're doing your lower, whatever, you switch up. No, 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 no. So when you're playing music, you're exercising upper, lower, sideways, next ways, diagonal ways, all the ways are being exercised. It's like a full body
it's
workout
everything.
on the
That's
brain.
a whole symphony. Yeah,
There you go. There it is. Yes, that's
yeah,
what you want. You want to, and I believe that's part of the, if for generic reason, that's why, we have improvement in areas like social skills and academic status, or,
yeah,
testing and things like that, because the brain is being worked double time, more so than
yeah.
you would like drawing or, kicking a ball.
Mm, I see. Okay, and what do you hope to learn from a podcast about music and mental health? Like, what do you think, people can learn about this podcast about music and mental health?
I I think I would say what you can learn is by doing. If you like music, because I say that because I'm still astonished in my older age that I actually met somebody who said they don't listen to music. I just about died. Who does that? Nobody. Who does that?
Yeah,
Really? But the guy
yeah.
was very serious. He does not listen to music. So if you're one of those that does not listen to music, give it a chance. If you still don't like it, you can say you tried. That's all I want to say about that.
Mm,
But for those who do listen to music or have an interest in playing an instrument, or anything like that, then I would say one, listen to all the music you can all the time. Just all
yeah,
of it, even if it's the same genre. If you like, well,
yeah,
maybe you say you like R&B and rap or trap and all that and dubstep or whatever
yeah,
is out there, but you don't like country or EDM, then don't pay attention to any of that. Do what you like,
yeah,
and then write
yeah,
down what you
yeah,
like about it. Write down
yeah,
how it makes you feel. Write down, does it make you dream? I mean, if it makes you dream big, like you're on a stage and you up there next to Snoop Dogg or Ice T or whoever's
yeah,
up there, Drake or Dr. Dre, I don't even know, but dream and be that guy on the stage, because one, it makes you feel good, you're feeling good, just by listening to it. It makes, you're not pissed off or angry. So that's a good start, right? So I just say,
yeah,
listen to as much of it as you can. And, I have to be careful. I feel like I have to be careful about what kind of direction I kind of go with this just yet. Because there's some things I feel I need to kind of, iron out. Is because I'm not a licensed person. So I don't want somebody to come along and say, oh, well, you said this and he heard this on this and then now he's, in,
yeah,
the
yeah,
certified war. No, I can't have that. So
yeah,
there's some things
exactly.
I'm going to take, my futures. They pretty much said, I'm doing all right the way I'm going to do it, so that nobody is, on the bad end of a stick anywhere. So,
Yeah, but
especially there.
when you
So
say that, do you um can you add like a favorite podcast or other resources related to
yeah,
mental health or music that
mhm,
they can
I'm
look
going to. Yeah.
into?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm pretty sure these guys already know, even more than I do,
Yeah,
about which podcast is putting out the best playlists,
yeah,
whether, Spotify's down that day and, SoundCloud is up that next, you know,
yeah.
they're gonna know. But the thing is they may not know the order putting a playlist together that actually is
Mm,
beneficial, that really does do something on the brain, that keeps you going, progressing, progressing, and progressing.
mm,
Uh, I have a bit of an idea how that goes, and that's one of the goals I
mm.
have in mind is to put together playlists that directed toward a certain challenge that maybe someone might have, like say, like impulsivity. So I'll make a
Yeah.
playlist full of songs that direct towards that, that are directed just for that. Maybe they have some issues with depression. Then
Mm,
maybe you're gonna get a really kind of cool, laid back, uplifting, playlist. And that's gonna
yeah.
take time though. So, but that's in the works. That's a really good idea, and I believe that it's a good way to start. Getting your juices going up there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I just, yeah, you can remember I got ADD too, so I get a little things going so fast in
Yeah,
my head
yeah.
because I get excited. I get excited, and then I don't know what to say next, and then I'm not saying anything, and it sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I kind of do. I've been
Yeah.
playing music for a long time, so yeah.
Yeah. So when you say that, do you just can you tell us like more about your publication then? Does that 1 minute 1 minute sorry, your publication
The whole.
does that
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead please.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, kind of skipped. And well, at first it looked like a pause. That's why I started. And then I was like, oh, it's skipping pause. Okay, so um, the whole point of the title, the 1 minute uh, daily boost, is because one, I am dealing with people, addressing people that I don't mean dealing with like in a negative way. I'm just like I'm wanting to get connected with people who have attention issues. The attention issues are hard to deal with, when it comes to focusing, and then you have to concentrate. Focus comes
Yes.
first, and then concentration. So I know I don't like a 10-page post. I don't care where it's at, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, my grandmother's,
Yeah.
email. It's a 10-pager is woo. I'll just put it away and come back to it later. So the point was to make posts that were less than a minute read so that the
Yes.
people who had a hard time focusing and then concentrating wouldn't feel so overwhelmed and they'd want to
Yes.
be attracted to want to read. So that was it. But the thing is I want to add biological evidence-based research that says, hey, this has been tested over here. And that when I got down
Mm.
to doing the post, then now I'm over a minute. So that's why you haven't seen anything yet, because I have to make the balance. So I'm on it. I'm working on it every day in some way. But then I just found out Hari did a Substack live with, I think, Alexandria is her name, and it was really
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't know that it was okay to just put notes. I saw that today, but I had to go do school and I had to do other things. So I've got notes. I've got notes written. So tomorrow is my goal is just put some notes out there.
Yes, put some
So
notes
I
up
didn't know
there.
that.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So that's cool.
That's
That's all I need
true.
to
You
know.
can post every day for as many notes as you want, but we we obviously recommend us posting as many as you can to get your visibility out there, you know what I mean? But having
Cool, yeah.
said that, when you do your daily boost, would you be adding like stuff in regards to what we discussed, like music and
Yes,
mental health?
there'll be some time. Okay, say that again because you did a real long echo type, like you
Oh,
were.
sorry.
Please,
Will you be doing on your daily boost? Will you be doing stuff on mental health and music as well? Like what
yes,
we discussed?
yes, absolutely. I believe it to be like pretty much the best medicine, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but that's biased, and any doctor or probably or counselor or psychology person or psychoanalyst or whoever would be like, "Psh, okay, but I'm biased, so music is my go-to. But
Mm,
I do take my medicine every day. I do
yeah,
that. I have to
yeah,
do that for me to be okay.
yeah.
And I accept it. So yes, there's things I have to do for my mental health that are not music related, but chances are there's something playing in the background while I'm doing it, you know. And there's music for that too. That's
Mm,
what they call like white noise music for people who uh which one is it? Depression? Maybe depression and anxiety. Like white noise, pink
yeah.
noise, type music. There's something playing in the background.
Mhm.
For me, a lot of times. So not all the time.
Yeah.
There are times I will put it down because I have to concentrate a little more. I have to focus, then concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's
yes,
great. So,
not all the time though. No, I don't want to say that, and then people be like, "Well, I thought it was going to be music all the time." No, not all the time. There's times where
not
it's
all the
okay to
time. Yeah.
yeah to say to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be drawn out. You know, and mental health can
Yeah.
stand on its own without music. And music can stand on its own without mental health. So there'll be a mix of both.
Yeah. That's
I hope.
true. Thank you so much, Chris.
Well,
Now,
thank you. I
do you
appreciate you.
mind telling us, telling us where we can find you, or just tell us what the publication is going to be again?
Okay. It's
Hello?
uh the, the 1 minute daily boost through the humble elephant. You might see both of those. So they're the same. Well, I mean not the same, but the same person putting them on. So if you see one or the other, you've landed somewhere close. You're like really hot, hot, hot. So yeah. I put it up on the Substack. I put a thing on there that said coming soon, the 1 minute daily boost, and it went up on the feed, on your home feed. It was up there because I saw it. It said coming soon. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
And that
Thank you.
that TED TED Talk, what's that TED Talk again that you mentioned
Oh,
earlier? Do you know the title of it? So we
not
can,
specifically because please trust. I've read a lot of titles about music and the brain and all different so I can't
yeah.
remember all of them. But if you just go to the
o-
TED site, and not necessarily YouTube, but TED has their own thing, and just type in music and benefits of the brain or whatever, and it'll pop up. It's
Okay.
a lady is doing
Okay.
it. Yeah, and
All
it's only
right.
about 12 minutes. So yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for
Awesome.
let me
Thank
get
you.
Blair. Take care.
No,
Bye
thank
bye.
you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having guested here, and we'd love to speak to you again soon.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good day. It's day over there, right? It's night here. Good day. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
see you. Okay.
Okay. See you,
Take
Chris.
care.
Thank
All right.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.